Bun B's Intruder gets sentenced to 40 years. Plus, Bad Boys 4 is a hit. And Joey Badass starts a mentoring program while Brandy and Monica make cameos in Ariana Grande's new Boy Is Mine video. Welcome to the Weekend Critics, and welcome back to the Critic Chronicles YouTube channel, where you get commentary, reviews, and tabloid news. I'm your host, Patricia Hartley. Be sure to like this video, subscribe to this channel, and hit that notification bell so you never miss an upload. It's Sunday, June the 9th, 2024. Hey, critics, it's time to chronicle. Up first, we go inside the lineup of the top talk shows of the week, starting with Miss Sherry Shepherd. On Monday, Real Housewives of Potomac star Wendy Osefo and Candace Dillard Bassett. She's expecting, by the way. They're going to be stopping by. Congrats as well to her and her husband. And then on Friday, Vice President Kamala Harris is going to be stopping by the Sherry Shepherd's show as well. She stopped by a few weeks ago at one of the other talk shows. I guess she's kind of making her rounds right now. So shout out to Kamala Harris, VP. Jennifer Hudson on her show on Monday. Marla Gibbs. She's just the tender age of 92, y'all. She's going to be stopping by the Jennifer Hudson show. The 5-time Emmy nominee. Y'all, she's given us decades of talent. You know, when she was asked on the red carpet earlier this year, what was her secret to staying in the industry for so long? Well, she said it was the pay gap. So can't help but laugh when it comes to stuff like that. So shout out to Marla. She'll be again at the Jennifer Hudson show on Monday. And then Tuesday, stand-up comedian and actress Retta is going to be stopping by, while on Wednesday, Mickey Guyton, the first Black female solo artist to earn a Grammy nomination in a country category for her song Black Like Me. She's going to be stopping by the show. Her 2015 album, it's self-titled Mickey Guyton, is actually on Hoopla, which is the free platform that is accessible through your public library. Also, she has another album. It's a 2020 album. It's called Bridges. That's also available as well. And then on Thursday, Alex Rodriguez, the ex-fiance to Jennifer Lopez. I had to say that. I know y'all probably like, you didn't have to go there, but I did. I had to. Now, I really thought her and Alex I thought they was gonna make it. I really did. Her and Alex seemed like they were in a very, like, it was a different zone than you ever seen Jennifer Hudson in, and Jennifer Lopez, excuse me, in. They was doing stuff like FaceTime, and the kids seemed like they got along, like Alex's kids as well as Jennifer Lopez's children. It just seemed like it was gonna work out. You know, unfortunately, we see what's going on right now. Jennifer Lopez is actually with Ben Affleck. And then all of the tabloids are claiming that they're about to break up in 5 minutes. My question to J-Lo is actually more of like, when when you get into a relationship, do you also have to be as busy, or are you always this busy and you just so happen to be in a relationship? Just because I do understand, just based off of your schedule, and then the Super Bowl documentary that you did for one of those streaming platforms. I can't never get the platforms right, y'all. By the way, her movie This Is Me is actually on Prime Video, not Netflix. But Jennifer Lopez, she is intense, and she did that docu-series when she did the Super Bowl performance, and she kind of talked about, you know, how intense she can be, but she also seems like one of those people that just kind of is a hard worker. You know, her dancing is really amazing, and it's always flawless. She keeps her body in tip-top shape, especially for her to be a woman, you know, in her 50s. And so shout out to J-Lo for keeping it, you know, good looking. And I know I was supposed to be talking about Alex being on the Jennifer Hudson show, but I couldn't help but to bring up J-Lo. And on Friday on the Jennifer Hudson show, comedian and actress Miss Pat is going to be stopping by. Talk about a woman who is real on another level, kind of real. And then Tamron Hall Thursday, Love is Blind star. His name is Clay Gravesunday. He's going to be stopping by Tamron Hall. And on Friday, Robin Roberts is going to be stopping by the show. She's going to be stopping by to see Tamron as well. And of course, I mentioned a little bit of Hoopla and Mickey Guyton's albums that's available there. That's just because y'all here at the Critic Chronicles, our goal is to provide quality but juicy content from websites, digital magazines, and tabloids, most of which are sourced from our public libraries. Research from the National Library of Medicine show that there are an estimated 17,000 public libraries nationwide, totaling 4 million visits each day. Public libraries are civic organizations that are committed to providing invaluable resources beyond books that are free and open to the public. Get your library card to access thousands of resources today. All right, y'all, let's get into this critical news that you can use. First, I want to give a Shirley Strawberry update. Just because on the June 8th show, I referenced Shirley Strawberry, the co-host of the nationally syndicated Steve Harvey Morning Show, and her husband, Ernest Williams, who's been charged, of course, with RICO charges. Well, I mentioned some phone calls that happened between Ernesto and his friend that many refer to as his mistress. But there's also calls on there from whomever visited him while he was actually while he's actually been locked up, because he is still locked up. Now, the mistress's name, her name is Sonia. She also went on to another YouTuber's channel. Her name is Tasha Kate, and she did a full interview. And also, Ernesto is on the phone while Sonia's doing the interview. Child, they got phones in jail now. It's a different level than what it used to be. Okay. Well, you can check that out over on Tasha K's channel. Additionally, there are some phone calls that has not only been uploaded, but I want to specifically give y'all the resource, and it's called Phone Calls from Prison. So if you look up Phone Calls from Prison on YouTube, you'll be able to see a lot of the calls. Most of them are labeled as like Nesto. You'll see it actually in the thumbnail. So you really can't miss many of the phone calls. They're plentiful, y'all. Go ahead, baby. Get ready, get prepared. This is a different level of a series. I promise this has probably around 12 seasons, and I don't even think I'm actually exaggerating. Okay. But if you get time, be sure to check that out. Again, phone calls from prison. And speaking of I shouldn't really be relating the two, but we're speaking of prison. Mike Tyson is actually going to be rescheduling the fight that he was going to be having with Jake Paul, and that date has been set for November the 15th. It's going to be taking place at the AT&T Stadium. So, as previously reported, the fight was actually rescheduled to Mike Tyson having ulcers, and he seemed like he was really about to go into this deep preparation of fasting and whatever I guess they do as boxers to sort of prepare for it. Mike, I'm still listening to critics talk about it, and nobody sounds like they're excited about you fighting. So if you just so happen to not be available on November the 15th either, you know, you know, I mean, it can happen. But either way, I know that there's a lot of money that can be made from this, which I'm sure is the reason why y'all actually rescheduled the fight. And listen, I don't know if y'all went to the box office this past weekend, but Bad Boys 4 Ride or Die is a hit. LA Times reports that Bad Boys debut this weekend with $56 million in domestic ticket sales and $104.6 million globally. As you know, you've seen Will Smith and Martin Lawrence, the two stars of the movie, not only on social media, going to all of the different premieres, but hugging on fans. Will Smith, I believe, this past weekend on Friday and Saturday, showed up at the movie theater at the premieres, just to kind of see sort of the reaction of the audience. I told y'all this before. Patty Jackson over on her YouTube channel, she's talking about that Bad Boys 4 is her favorite. Now, I still am taking the time to be able to check it out. Don't worry, the next time we talk, I'll probably be able to let y'all know what I thought. My favorite thus far was Bad Boys 2. Period. I always will go back to that movie. It's actually one of my feel-good movies, right? You know, that you go back and you just sort of watch. One thing though that people are talking about is, and they were kind of concerned even prior to these numbers coming out after the Bad Boys 4, was just sort of how folks were going to react to Will after what happened at the Academy Awards in 2022, in which he horrifically slapped Chris Rock. Now, some folks were concerned that he may not be able to recover, but to be honest, these days, I don't think folks are sitting out as long as they used to when it comes to these sort of controversies. And if I'm correct about my dates, I believe it was February of 2022 when it happened. The slap happened at the Academy Awards, and then Will came back on the scene like of July of 2022. So it was only like a few months of a gap in between that. I also, and while there's no comparison to, what's going on with Diddy, but if you notice, Diddy did not stay hidden for 5 minutes. He came out in Miami and was smoking a cigar. So folks ain't doing like they used to when controversies happen, where they just kind of like lay low. You better lay low. They don't lay low for no long time no more. They, do a little something for 5 minutes, or what they consider to be their level of a break. Okay, I'm gonna do 2 weeks and that's it. But I will say Bad Boys came and did its thing at the box office. Shout out to both Martin as well as to Will Smith. Martin also released a statement because folks was concerned actually about his health, if you remember. So much so that Martin actually had to come out with a statement, just letting everybody know he's all right. He's doing good. He's doing fine. I will say that I think, regardless of the health of Martin and whether he wants to share that with us or not, or maybe he's correcting that it's going on and we're looking too deep into the matter, slash noticing a little bit more slurring. I do believe that Will and Martin, they have each other's back. If you remember the story, it's my understanding that Martin was the one who actually brought Will onto the Bad Boys franchise. And so shout out to them for being able to just be on number 4. I remember when the first one came out, I believe that was like in 1995. Then you had the next one that came out some years later, which again, I still think is the best one. The third one came out in 2020. And then in 2024, they're rounding it off with Bad Boys 4. So shout out to them and congratulations to Bad Boys for doing so well at the box office. And Jay-Z's company, Roc Nation, is going to be launching a new educational campaign in Philadelphia. And that's according to a spokesperson who represents Roc Nation and the critics over at cbsnews.com. Now, the campaign is set up to allow underprivileged students from K through 12 to attend private schools. The program is going to allow students to secure $300 million worth of scholarships to attend private schools with the Pennsylvania Award for Student Success. So the acronym for that is PASS, and that is the program that it sounds like they're partnering up with throughout the state of Philadelphia, throughout the state of Pennsylvania. And it is in the Philly area. So that's why I just kind of jumped to it too soon. But there's a listening campaign actually going on right now in the Philadelphia area, educating the public about the PASS legislation. It is an income-based style program, and the list of locations for these PASS events are on the cbsnews.com website. And let's, speaking of folks that don't stay down long, they come out even after the controversies. We've been talking about Jay-Z and sort of him not really saying that much ever since what's gone on between Diddy, more specifically since Cassie filed her lawsuit back in November of 2023. And while we've seen TD Jakes speak out, we've seen other friends who have been either quiet or just sort of, hey, I'm against domestic violence, but not necessarily overly saying anything too powerful about Puff Daddy in general, right? Still saying like, okay, we don't believe in domestic violence. That wasn't right, but still not speaking out, too much, just sort of gracing the surface of everything else outside of the domestic violence part of the video. And Jay-Z hasn't said much. I also want to just kind of bring it to y'all's attention. Do you remember when Kanye West went on that rant at his concert? I believe it was after Kim. I could be wrong about the exact timing, but I think it was, remember when Kim Kardashian, they were married at the time, she got robbed over in Europe, and then like it was a big deal. He had to stop in the middle of his concert to go handle what was handled. Then the next thing you know, Kanye was at a concert saying like, man, you're supposed to be my friend, and was speaking negatively out about the fact that Jay hadn't called to check on him. So it just kind of depends on what kind of friends they are. There's video of Sean Diddy Combs saying that one of the only people that can actually call him Sean is who else but Sean Carter, which is Jay-Z's real name. So, we still kind of wonder a little bit, but whenever there's negative press that surrounds many of the folks who out there make all the money, they quickly typically come out with something that's a little bit more positive, or they're doing something with their children, right? Because Diddy's kids have been going to prom, they've been doing other things. I can't mention stuff, all of the things, but they've been out and about still handling life, which they as they should, but I can only imagine it has to be hard for them as kids hearing us talk about the discrepancies of their parents. But here we are. I will say this. I think a good distraction can be Beyonce going on tour with Destiny's Child. Does that sound selfish? I want to sound selfish. I think that's one of the best distractions here. I remember, if I remember correctly as well, and I'm getting off topic here, whenever Jay-Z was going through that stuff with Dame Dash, right? Whenever they was having that's when Beyonce, I think had just wrapped up her video, her movie, the Dreamgirls movie, and then she went right back on tour with her second tour of her Beyonce album, right? It was the second album that she came out with, because the first one was Crazy in Love, and then she came out with Beyonce. B-Day. Baby, seems like everywhere I go, I see you. Yep. Okay. Anyway, I think Destiny Child should go on concert. I mean, come back out, come on tour, do your thing. I've checked the website. I see y'all changed up some imagery on the website, because I do check. But I think that's one of the best distractions, is to selfishly tell Destiny's Child to come out and give us, one of those tours that we never knew we needed. We never knew we needed. All righty. And I want to talk positively really quickly about rapper Joey Badass. He has reportedly launched a new mentorship program to empower Black men. And the website that you can check out is impactmentorship.org. According to the website, it says that the program's commitment is just 1 hour per month for 1 year. And while applications are now closed, the program says it provides free mentorship for men of color 18 years and older in the United States. Now, some of the mentors in the program, you can see it on the website along with their photo, include 19 Keys hip hop artist Corday, Boston Celtics player Jaylen Brown, record producer Swiss Beats, and also Joey Badass himself, along with many more. I just encourage you to check out impactmentorship.org just to find out more information. And congratulations on making such a positive impact in your community by launching this program, Joey. I look forward to hearing the positive outcomes and assessments that will happen as a result. In other news, let's talk a little bit about rapper Bun B. KHOU.com reports that a judge sends the man who broke into Houston rapper and business owner Bun B's home. His real name is Bernard Freeman, back in 2019. Now, the individual's name is DeMonte Jackson, and he broke into the home back in 2019 and has been sentenced now to 40 years in prison this past Friday. His full name is DeMonte Alif Jackson. He pleaded guilty to aggravated robbery and burglary with intent to commit other offense. Now, Bun B, as well as his wife, they did an emotional testimony. As a matter of fact, his wife's testimony, I believe, was so emotional that they had to take a recess. Just because when you're in a position like this where a gun has been put to your head, that's definitely traumatic. It was so traumatic that they actually moved. I believe they were staying on one side of Houston, maybe on the southwest side. Then they moved out, maybe on the outskirts. But essentially, they just basically had to move. It was such a traumatic experience. And the robber, DeMonte, can be seen on video camera approaching the home, and he began to kind of look around for like a spare key, like under the rug. He was kind of looking to see if there was something around the porch that he could look inside, that maybe there was a spare key. He then rang the doorbell and with the gun entered the home, pointing it directly in the face of Bun B's wife. And she pleaded with the suspect to take their car in the garage. And the only reason she opened up the door blindly was because she thought it was an Amazon package. But unfortunately, it was the robber. Bun B, who was also at home, he heard the intruder, got his weapon, ran downstairs, met the robber in the garage, and they basically both shot at each other. And Bun B hit him. He hit him, and what the robber had to do was go to the hospital. And because he had to go to the hospital to get his wounds treated, that really did lead to additional suspicion. And while Bun B was not charged or injured during the invasion, the invader was not only injured, he was also caught, and he will be eligible for parole in about 20 years. If you don't know, Bun B is known for his hits, Pocket Full of Stones, Riding Dirty, and in the international players anthem. I'm so glad that they will be able to have justice regarding this incident, and that Bun B was able to be home to assist with what was going on with his wife. I'm so glad they were able to move, and hopefully they feel that justice has been served. And speaking of Anthem, y'all, Brandy and Monica made a surprising appearance in Ariana Grande's The Boy Is Mine video. Okay. It's not exactly the same song, but definitely the same sort of message. They are the reporters in the video, in which they are both talking about the mayor, who is Ariana's character, who she's obsessed with this mayor essentially, and creates this sparkly sort of pink potion to give it to him. She then sneaks into his home with this very exotic Catwoman-esque suit on, in order to give this love potion to him, only for him to pull away, destroy it, and in my opinion, look in her eyes like, you don't need this potion, baby. You already got me wrapped around your fingers. It then ends, and then it looks like there's definitely more to come, y'all. But guess who plays the role of the mayor that Ariana is obsessed with? It's the character from You. His real name is Penn Badgley. I cannot remember what. Oh, Joe is his name on the show. So in that the show is called You, and he plays the character Joe. Well, I'm just gonna say that he did a good job, of course, in the video, and it's always nice to see folks honored and being paid homage to, like Monica and Brandy. And I remember when that song came out, "The Boy Is Mine." The boy is mine, the boy is mine, the boy is mine, the boy is mine. And critics, it's time for Black on the Inside, where we go inside of the top tabloid magazines. This week it's gonna be Us Magazine's June the 17th issue. We have Lionel Richie on page 6 quoting just kind of about Nicole Richie as well as Paris Hilton when they get together, how scary that can be. If y'all remember back in the day, Paris Hilton and Nicole Richie had a reality TV show, one of the first ones that came out, not the first, right? But one of the first that came out. Very crazy. They were put in my opinion different different scenarios just so that they can react a certain way so that we can get more entertainment. But the world loved it. They really did love it, and even the people who hated it still talked about it, so much so that you're like, do you hate it though? I think you still love it too. But Lionel Richie also just welcomed a brand new granddaughter. Sophia Richie just had a baby. That's his other daughter. So congratulations to Sophia Richie. I saw a few photos floating around online where she did like a little celebration of welcoming her little girl. But congratulations again to Sophia Richie. And if there's ever a return for Paris and Nicole to do a show, I believe that they got some folks that's still interested in watching it. Time will tell. And Will and Martin are also on page 12. Just talked about them with the Bad Boys for Life, but they're promoting the film. Did y'all know that it's been almost 30 years? It's been 30 years for Bad Boys. We Bad Boys for Life. And on page 23, they take a rare look inside the relationship of Queen Latifah and Ebony Nichols, which is her longtime partner. I have to say that I was very surprised to see them on the red carpet. They were at the Met Gala together looking amazing. Just because Queen is really typically on the low just regarding her relationship, or her partners with her folks, and she just kind of just keeps a low profile. So it's always good to see some folks that you don't see put their business out there, give us a little bit more, just a little bit. Ain't gotta be too much. Give it a little bit. Shout out to Queen Latifah for entering the chat of DJ Academics when he was talking Mac about all the women, because that's all he does. I feel like all he be doing is attacking the women. Stop attacking the ladies. If you want to be one, just say that. The report goes on to say that the two are very supportive of each other's careers, and I'm talking about Queen as well as her partner, Ebony, and they share a strong and healthy bond. And seeing them together at the Met Gala, it was a nice surprise. Speaking of surprises, Kelly Rowland is on page 25, just kind of talking about motherhood and the bond that she has with her sons, both Titan as well as Noah. That's who she's going to be taking with her on the Destiny's Child tour that they're going to be doing here soon, and they're going to kick it off. Side note, Kelly's book, Whoa Baby, is on the free digital platform Hoopla, along with her album Talk a Good Game and Here I Am. They're also available on the platform. And Northwest popped up on page 28. In the article this time, instead of talking about Northwest's performance, they're more talking about how Kim and Kanye collaborated for the event. And Kanye basically had his phone up the whole time recording his baby, making sure that he got nothing but great footage of her performance. And although Kanye does have a lawsuit against him, I'll get to that more a little bit next week. Y'all, all the lawsuits, is that not draining? Ugh, today drained me. But I'll get some more of the very serious lawsuit that has been filed against Kanye West a little bit more next week. And Billy Porter talks pride on page 37, reminding the young people that pride is more than just a party, it is also a protest. And Miss Portia Williams, listen, the Real Housewives of Atlanta can't stop, won't stop. Okay. Ever since Portia has come out and said on her Instagram, I'll be coming back as Miss Portia Gravadia, child, everything has kind of gone downhill. We don't know what's going on when it comes to the house that Portia lives in, if she's going to be able to stay there, because apparently it's in the name of her husband that they're apparently filing for divorce. Listen, if I want to keep up with the ATL news, I have to admit to y'all, I go over to ATLN. Michelle does a great job of just kind of keeping up, giving us nothing but breaking news about what's happening in the ATL. So shout out to ATLN, Miss Michelle, who keeps us informed of all of the things. And right now, one of the most serious things that's happening is between Kenya Moore and one of the newer housewives. Apparently, there's some sort of a leaked revenge tape, and that has to do with SEX. And we don't like that. Not at all, because that is a crime. So check out ATLN, Miss Michelle over there, as she continues to give us breaking news just regarding all the things in the ATL. Okay. And that's a little bit about Black on the Inside from Us Magazine's June the 17th issues. And if you missed yesterday's episode, you can still catch it. In yesterday's episode, we talked Shirley Strawberry and what's going on with her and soon to be ex-husband, who was convicted of RICO charges, Ernesto. And then Diddy's degree being revoked from Howard University, along with the lawsuit that's been filed against The Dream. That's why I couldn't talk about Kanye today. We got Dream, we got Diddy, we got more people coming out. It's exhausting, but we're going to get to it, y'all. We're definitely going to get to it. I also talk about the Wheel of Fortune and their switch to a brand new host, Ryan Seacrest. But I also weigh in on who should replace Vanna White when she goes. I know she hasn't talked about it like that, but when she does decide to retire, I weighed in on some folks I think could be good. So be sure to check out that episode. It's going to be linked below. And thanks again for tuning into the Critic Chronicles YouTube channel, where you get commentary, reviews, and tabloid news. Be sure to like this video, subscribe to this channel, and hit that notification bell so you never miss an upload.